Hello, everyone. Welcome to Desktop Central Training Program. Before we start, I want to ensure everyone can hear my voice and view the presentation. Please confirm the same by commenting on the chat window. Right, thank you for the confirmation. Here is our training schedule. We are at week 2 to discuss on the software deployment module of Desktop Central. And you can find the other schedules upcoming weeks with different sessions. If you want to download the earlier training videos, please refer the download URL below from where you can get all the recorded sessions. Let me introduce myself. I'm Saranraj Kumar. I have 6 years experience working with ManageEngine products. I do implementation and training for Desktop Central, OS Deployer, and MDM products. So we are in week 2 to discuss on the software deployment feature of Desktop Central. Here is our agenda for this training session. We'll have a quick overview on the software deployment module, how to create packages and deploy. And I have taken 3 different use cases based on a problem solution approach. The first one is how to create a package for freeware applications. In this case, I have taken an example of Chrome browser to deploy the entire computers in my domain. And the next use case is creating a package for commercial applications, such as Office, Visio, AutoCAD. So I have taken MS Office 2016 for this use case, and I will create a package for this particular application and deploy to finance department machines. The next use case is how to make end users to install applications themselves. We have SelfService Portal, the feature which is recently introduced, will allow end users to install applications from their end. So we're going to discuss on that. At the end, we'll have more scenarios and how to solve them using Desktop Central software deployment module. End of the session, we'll have a question and answer session where we can discuss on a few commonly asked questions by our customers so far who joined in this presentations. However, if you have any questions, please raise it via chat window. We have expert panel who can answer your questions immediately. All right, what are the operating systems supported by Desktop Central product? With respect to software deployment module, our product supports Windows and Mac operating system. I mean, you can create software packages and deploy them to Windows machines and Mac machines as of now. The product maintains a database with 1,000+ applications. These applications are predefined freeware applications and commercial applications across Windows and Mac operating system. These applications are added with download URLs, silent switches, and parameters, all the arguments for installation. This helps the administrator to create packages from our template easily and deploy them to the client machines. We will discuss on the template packages in our upcoming slides in detail. Let's have a quick understanding of Desktop Central product architecture. The Desktop Central follows client-server based architecture. So we have a Desktop Central server component which is installed at one of your server machine, and we have agent component that is installed on all the client machines. The product can manage local office and remote offices, the WAN environment, and roaming user machines. The users who travel from one location to other frequently, you can manage them as well over the public internet. So all you have to do is to ensure the roaming user machines can reach the main server via specific ports through a NAT configuration in your firewall. With respect to branch office, we have a distribution server installed. It's a small component which has to be installed on one of your machine. It will act as a replication point. So the machine sitting at remote office will get the packages specifically from the distribution server. What are the ports used by Desktop Central product? Desktop Central application uses various ports. We support HTTP and secure mode HTTPS over TCP. But for example, the Desktop Central product runs on 8020 and 8383. In case if you want, you can change the ports anytime. And as you can see in the slide, all the ports are based on features that you want to use in our product. Remote control ports and file transfer port. So all these ports can be changed at any moment. So 90 minutes refresh interval. Every agent that you manage will contact the server once in 90 minutes. This is called as agent refresh interval. This is to ensure two important factors. The first one is all the agents communicate the server at regular interval. The agent server communication does not lead to network choke. For example, if you manage 90 computers, only one machine per minute will reach the server. If you manage 900 machines, only 10 machines per minute will reach the server. If you manage 9,000 machines, only 100 machines per minute will reach the desktop central server. This delegation, this interval time is maintained, taken care by desktop central server component. How software deployment works. We have discussed on the ports and desktop central product architecture. Now let's get into our actual training module that how software distribution works in our product. The process starts with creating a software repository. It could be a network share or HTTP share. So what is the network share? In our environment, we create a shared folder, give access to every one user, and we keep all the installer files within the share. For example, when we want to install any application, we download the exe file, put it on the network share, which can be accessed over the LAN environment by any computer. And HTTP share resides on the server machine, which is specifically designed for deploying applications to remote office machines which can't access the network share. We will discuss that in our upcoming slides. But in the meantime, so how software deployment works, we create a package in desktop central server product. When we create the package, we specify the installer file location, the UNC path, along with the proper installation switches and arguments. And we send that task to the client machines. With respect to the local office, the client machines will connect to the local network share to download the exe and put it on the local machine and install the application. After installation, the status will be sent to the desktop central server component. With respect to the remote office machines, the distribution server will synchronize all the packages from the repository. And the client machine sitting at that remote office will get the package from the distribution server instead of the main server. This reduces the bandwidth consumption specifically during software deployment. It doesn't lead you to get network choke. So these are the two important factors for using the distribution server. So after installation of the package, the client machines will directly send the status back to desktop central server. So the distribution server is used only to replicate packages, act as a local repository for the WAN machines to avoid bandwidth consumption, as we discussed. So let's get into our next slide. What is the difference between network share and HTTP share, where we can use these two types of shares? When we talk about network share, we create a file we create a folder and give everyone permission to all the LAN users. So the network share is specifically designed for deploying applications within the LAN environment. Accessing the LAN, accessing the network share over the LAN is pretty easy. You won't have any problem. What about WAN environment? You can make it work, but it requires network level changes, giving access to the share over the public internet. It's not an easy task. To avoid that, you can use HTTP share, which will, which can be used within the WAN environment as well as in the LAN environment. And since it's a local share, you can have multiple files and folders. There won't be any restrictions. Whereas in the HTTP share, organizing the files will be a bit difficult if you go more than 5 files. And since it's locally shared and locally accessible, it completely depends on your local intranet connectivity speed. So you can go with any file size. Whereas size always matters when you want to transfer file from one location to other over the internet. So it is highly recommended to use up to 5 GB when you deploy applications via HTTP repository. And the network share is initially created by the administrator and given access to every computer in your network. In case you get a new package, you download it and put it on the share. It requires initial setup and regular maintenance, whereas HTTP share resides on the server machine and the server will take care of it automatically, so you don't need any kind of setup or maintenance once the HTTP repository is created. All right, so let's get into our use case, deploying Chrome browser to all the network machines. Before we talk about Desktop Central, how it deploys a package, let's talk about how we deploy these kind of applications manually to all the machines. The process looks like that. We download the binaries from the vendor's website. In this case, let's take an example of Google Chrome. I will go to Google Chrome website and download the MSI or exe file. And then I will find out proper silent installation switches. That is my next task. Because I want this application to be silently installed. I don't want any end user to see the prompt, and I don't want to ask them to click on next, next, next to install the applications. So I have to find out proper silent switch. And then I will create a package. I'm in the UNC path along with the switch and run it on the target machines. This is what I do. The process looks simple, but the time which is taken for following this step is really high. The reason is, if it's just Chrome, I can find it easily from the website. what if it's an application which I can't find the download URL easily? I want to install 100 to 1,000 applications. Is that possible to find out the silent switches and download URL for all the 1,000 applications? Absolutely not. This is where Desktop Central comes in place. Desktop Central product maintains a database with more than 1,000 applications with the predefined switches and parameters, silent install arguments. So this is regularly maintained, updated by our software assessment team. When a new version of the package comes live, we download it and test it in our local lab and add the dependent information to our database, which can be synced by your server, and you can create a package and deploy that to the client machines. Let me explain how this can be achieved. I will go to Desktop Central Console. We are looking at the Desktop Central product web interface, and I'm going on to the Software Deployment tab. And in the left panel, I have packages and templates. So this is the one I'm talking about, templates. I could see 1,138 applications as of now. As I discussed earlier, I get this information from our database, which is regularly updated by our software assessment team. How to get that information? Using this Sync Now button. When you press Sync Now, it is going to sync with our online database and fetch all these information. And if I click on the application name, I see the application and the download URL, silent install switches, uninstall switches, and license type, everything. So this is what we add. So my requirement is to install Chrome application. Let's get into our actual use case. So I search for Chrome. So I've got all the packages. As you can see, for 32-bit and 64-bit version, the download size, I could see different versions of Chrome, Windows and Mac operating system. So let's assume that I want to install Google Chrome 5499 64-bit application. I will select and click on Create Package. For example, I select it here and click on Create Package. The product will connect to this vendor's website, download the required binaries, the installers, and put it on our product. If I go to the packages list and I search for Chrome, I will get the application that I've created. So this is what I've created, the product downloaded and put it on the share. Now I want to install this application to all my network machines. I will go ahead and click on Install Uninstall Software after selecting the package. I have two options here under Windows, whether it should be deployed to user's profile or computer profile. My objective is to deploy this application to the machines. So I will go with computer-based configuration. In case, if I want to install this application to user's profile, I might have that requirement in future. For example, I want to install a Office plugin, Excel plugin, or Outlook plugin. I want to deploy that for users, user profile-based applications. I will create user-based configuration. So I create and I provide a name as Chrome All Network Machines. Then I have package settings, whether it is an MSI or EXE. Obviously, this is an MSI application. And I have operation type, whether it's to be installed or removed. So now you understood that this product can not only install applications, you can also uninstall applications from a central location. For example, we installed Chrome today, and we may want to uninstall this after a month time. It's pretty easy that you select the same package and choose remove as an option, but ensure that we have the proper uninstall commands here to uninstall this application. So I go to configure, install, uninstall. Um, by default, our product is going to use system user to install the application. In case if you want to use run as user credential, you may want to use that maybe for certain user-based applications. For example, we discussed on how to create user-based configuration earlier. If I want to install an application to a user who does not have privilege to install the package, I can go ahead and provide the admin credentials to initiate the installation. And I go to scheduler settings, install after, and do not apply this configuration after the specified time below. So install after. For example, I want to create a task now, but I want this to be processed only during the weekend or only during a week time. I mean, after a week or after a month, I can specify the date and time. After this specific time, the agent will start processing the configuration. And do not apply this configuration after the time specified below. This will be important in some environment. For example, I'm deploying the latest version of Chrome, and after a month time, I want the latest version to be installed, not this old one anymore, because after 1 month, this will be old. So I will specify the date, maybe August 31st, after midnight 12. I don't want this configuration to be processed by any client machine. So I will expire this configuration after the time specified. And deployment policy. This is one of the important options available when you create the task. So you can create a deployment policy. The policy can be customized as you want. For example, I want to install the package only during the machine startup. This is an important option specific to third-party applications. For example, Java. If you want to install Java, you can't install it when there is any instance of Java running in the backend. Probably the web browsers use Java plugin, and you try to install the latest version of Java, it's going to corrupt the existing installer. To avoid that, you can use System Startup for deploying Java or Adobe, any third-party applications. And preferred days for the deployment, preferred weeks for the deployment, you can specify, and deployment window. I want the deployment to be started after 6 o'clock. I don't want to disturb the users during their work time. I always want to initiate the deployment after 18 hours. I can specify the time. And I have two more options. Turn on computers before deployment, download patches and the software during subsequent refresh cycle. The first one is going to allow me to turn on the machine before I initiate the deployment. I have chosen deployment after 18 hours. So there are chances where end users will turn off the machine before they leave. So I will turn on the machine using Wake on LAN feature of Desktop Central and deploy the application. Let's think about another scenario where I want to install application within a specific time window. Let's say I set the time window as 19 hours. So I have just 1 hour. Within this 1 hour, the agent will have to contact the server and download the package and start installing the application, and it should finish it within this time window. It should not go beyond that. So I have only 1 hour time, which is a very short time window. What I can do is I can enable this checkbox, download patches and software during subsequent refresh cycle. So we know that all the agent will communicate the server once in 90 minutes. I create a task around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. After 3 o'clock, agent communicates a server, and agent knows that there is a task created for it, but it has to install the package only after 18 hours. So what it does, it downloads the package, I mean the installer, and keep it locally on the machine. As soon as the client machine's time reaches 18 hours, it's going to install the application. And notification to be sent out to the end users after the deployment. You can configure the message. The end user will get the pop-up window with this configuration details, and actions to be performed after deployment, whether to reboot the machine or shut down the machine, do not reboot or shut down. You have multiple options here to customize as you want. Reboot method, whether you want to force a reboot or postpone the reboot. When you enable postpone reboot, you can customize the message here that will be popped up to the end user with an option to postpone up to 6 hours. All right, so we can customize the deployment policy as we want and choose that deployment policy from here. Now we have got the important section to be covered, which is choosing the target machines. So in this use case, I have a requirement of deploying this package to all the network machines. I mean, for my entire domain. I will select my domain name and I will process with the task deployment. And if I want to customize this, for example, as soon as I have chosen the domain name, I've got some kind of warning or message in red. What it says is, I have selected the domain name, which means whatever remote offices, whatever distribution server I have under that domain will get this package replicated. For example, I want to deploy this package only to one particular distribution location. So I don't have to select this entire domain, which will eventually result in replicating the package to other distribution servers, which I don't want to happen unnecessarily. So I can select the entire particular remote office instead of choosing the distribution server. I'm sorry, the main domain. I can choose the particular distribution location directly without choosing the domain. So when I deploy this application, the package will be replicated only by the New York distribution server. But in this scenario, I have to choose the entire domain. Absolutely, I don't have any other option, and I can customize that if I want. For example, I have chosen the domain, but I want to exclude certain machines, maybe the OU or individual machine IP range or IP address, operating system, machine type. I can choose whatever I want and proceed with the exclusion. And then execution setting that I want to retry this configuration on failed targets twice, maybe during the machine startup once or during the agent refresh once. This is to increase the success rate of this configuration. Due to any agent server communication or during the software deployment, the machine was rebooted. In those cases, the deployment will be failed. It has to be rebooted. It has to be retried. So I can enable the retry option and notification to be enabled. If I want to get a notification from the product that how many machines have been successfully installed with the application, how many machines failed to install the application, I want to get a notification. I will put my email address here, and for every 6 hours once, or I can customize that if I want, and then how many days I want the report to be sent. And I have two options: deploy or deploy immediately. So when I say deploy, it's going to start the deployment during the 90 minutes refresh interval, which means if I deploy the task now at 9:29, this will be processed within the next 90 minutes by all the client machines. This will happen one by one. As we discussed earlier, If you manage 90 machines, only one machine per minute will reach the server. And we have deploy immediately. This is going to start the process to to first 200 machines immediately. Why we have restricted 200 machines? The reason is at any given time, we don't want all the agents to process the task and start contacting the server to download the package at the same time. It's going to increase a network choke and high bandwidth consumption at given time. So I don't want that to happening. What I have done is I have restricted this only to first 200 machines. Even if you select deploy immediately, the remaining machines will be getting the task processed during the 90 minutes refresh interval. All right, let's assume that the task is created and deployed. And if I go to View configurations in the left panel, I will see the tasks created so far. Here is Google Chrome All Network. I will click on the status, and I will see the number of machines succeeded with the deployment, number of machines yet to deploy. And if I click on View Details under Remarks, I will see why it is staying at yet to apply status. The reason is agent hasn't contacted the server after I deploy the task, so it did not process the task yet. And the reason why it failed, I will see the remarks. This will help me to troubleshoot this issue further. So I have created a package for Chrome application from the templates without searching for download URLs, without searching for silent switches, and deployed it to the respective machines. All right, let's get into our next use case, which is deploying MS Office 2016 to finance department computers. So in our earlier use case, we have discussed on the freeware. So we have we have the package, and you can create it easily and deploy it. Whereas MS Office is a commercial application. It requires license information to activate the product. So we can't create packages from our templates, but we have given you some other options. As usual, we will just go to the product console and search for templates. I'm going to search for Office 2016, for example. So I've got Microsoft Office 2016, and vendor is Microsoft Corporation, added time, and type says manual. If you have noticed in our earlier use case, the type was automatic. Now here it says manual, and action says learn more instead of create package. Let me click that. So when I click on learn more, it's taking me to the how-to document of ManageEngine, where I can see the instructions how to create the package for Office 2016. So this is what happens for commercial-based applications. As I said, commercial-based applications require license information, and we need a proper customization of the package. Office can be easily created by following this instruction, because Microsoft offered a tool, Office customization tool, to customize the deployment from a central location to multiple machines. The instruction shows how to create the config.xml file. It's simple that you have to replace this XXX with your 25-digit license key, and you put it on your shared folder where you have got exe file for Office, setup.exe file, and choose both the location and start deploying the application. So the clear instruction is given. Let me explain how it can be achieved using Desktop Central product. So what I have to do, I have to go to Packages, the left panel. I have Add Package for Windows and Mac, and this is a Windows application. And the package type is going to be exe because because MS Office is an exe-based application. Then I will choose package name, Office 2016. And obviously, I have to choose the license type, which is mandatory field. I will choose commercial and locate installable from. So I have two options. One is shared folder and this computer. So shared folder. If I click on browse, the product will search for the network shared repository which you configured with the product. So how to configure the network share repository? So within the software deployment module, we have software repository. When you click on that, I have an option to choose the network shared location where I have kept the Office Office exe file. Likewise, AutoCAD, likewise Visio, likewise any other commercial applications, Adobe, Dropbox. So I choose the folder where I have all the installers. The folder is given read and execute permission to every one group, as you can see here. If you don't want to provide read and execute permission to every one user group, you can enable this checkbox accessing the share using credential and put the username password which has access to this share. Now I go to the package creation page and I browse, and I will be able to see the packages available in this machine. In this network share, and I will choose the exe file. Let me open up another where I can show you. If I go to software deployment and package, add package Windows, I have two options here, whether I want to create from the template or create manually. And I choose exe, and I can click on browse, and I will see all the folders that is under the network share. I will expand MS Office 2016 and select the exe and click on OK. Now I've got the exe UNC path, and as per the instruction, I have to choose the location of config file. Let's assume that the location of config file is the same folder. So I will type in here config.xml, and then in the middle I have a backslash config as per the Microsoft document. So I have to put /configure after setup.exe. So I have created the package with proper switches, arguments. So everything is ready for us. I can go ahead and click on add package. So before I add package, I have pre-deployment activities and post-deployment activities. If I click on add under pre-deployment activities, I have different options like check for a software, check the registry key and value. So I can make use of these options. For example, before installing Office 2016, I want to ensure .NET framework is installed on the machine. It's not an exact requirement. Maybe you may want to install some AutoCAD application. And if you want to install AutoCAD, definitely you need .NET framework. It's a base application. So you can check for the software, the particular .NET framework version. If it is available, proceed with installation. If it's not available, skip the installation. This will avoid unnecessary failures because of dependent applications. Likewise, you have option to check the files, check the running processes before you install any application, kill the process so that you don't have to worry about failures. Because when you want to install Java, there shouldn't be any instances running in the backend. There shouldn't be any process running for a Java application. So you can kill that process before installing the package and check for free disk space. I want to make use of this one because Office is a huge application, around 2 GB of folder. So I need minimum, um, let's say, 2 GB of free space on the system drive to install this application. I will check that criteria. If it is satisfied, it will proceed with the installation. If I don't have enough space on the system drive on a machine, it's not going to proceed. Likewise, post-deployment activities, after installing the package, I can run a custom script to transfer files or folders or delete some cab files which are created after the package is installed. So I can customize all these things. And then I can click on advanced properties. By default, the exit code for successful installation is set to be 0. This might change for certain applications. It depends on the vendor. For instance, some application returns an exit code as 1. So even though it is successfully installed, uh, our product will show it as failed because the return code is different than what you have here. In that use case, just modify the package and put the exit code as per the vendor, and then you click on Add Package. So after successful installation, it will return the code as 1, and as per our product, it is set to be 1, so it will give you the successful status. And maximum time for installation. So we have given 2 hours for installing application. It might happen for some huge applications such as AutoCAD, auto designing applications. It will take more time to install all the components. So we have given enough time. If you want to increase, you can increase as well. And I can click on Add Package. The package will be added, and I can see here MS Office 2016. Let me search with the keyword Office 2016. So I've got it, and I'm going to select the package. The same way, install, uninstall software, computer configuration. I will name it as MS Office Finance Department Machines, and operation type as install. I will go with system user, and deployment policy. I will choose this one, and then I will select the specific department this time. I don't want to go with entire domain because my requirement is to choose a specific group of machines. So let's assume that I've created a group, and I choose that group as a target, and I will click on deploy because this is a huge application. So I don't want the server to be choked or the network share to be choked by all the client machines. So let them slowly get it one by one during the 90 minutes refresh interval. So after the deployment is over, I can see the status here. MS Office deployment to finance machines. I can click on the status to see the success rate of the configuration, failure status, why it is failed, um, the current status of other machines that to apply. It says access is denied. This is mostly going to happen when the client machine don't have access to the shared folder, the exe location. So I can troubleshoot it further on my own, and I can get this successfully installed. So my second requirement of installing MS Office is completed with the help of template document, which is predefined by our software assessment team. All right, let's get into our slides to see what is the process that we followed. We downloaded the Office application, customized the package using Office customization tool and added the package to our software repository and created the package in our product and deployed it to the required machines. All right, so our next use case is I'm receiving lots of help desk requests to install various business applications. I don't want to get requests from everybody for the same application. How do I handle that? This happens very frequently in our organization. Let's assume that I'm part of sales team and I need some applications to be installed on my machine. And I request my help desk administrator that I need these 10 applications. Another person joins to my team and he needs the same application and he will send a request to the help desk administrator. And if a team grows, the administrator's work grows as well. He's going to get multiple requests for the same application. Obviously, in my organization, I'm not the only person going to work. My group is not the only group to work. I have a sales team, I have marketing team, and normal users, developers. So everybody will send the request to help desk administrators that I need this application, I need this application. It's going to be an overwhelming request. As a help desk administrator, my job is to reduce the number of requests coming to the help desk product. So what I can do is I can make use of Desktop Central's self-service portal feature to publish a group of applications to a particular department. So anybody is part of the department, they can launch the self-service portal on their machines and install the packages on their own. They don't have to request me for the applications. They don't have to bug me for the applications to be installed. It's deployed automatically on those machines when they install it from the portal. So how can I achieve that? I will go to Desktop Central Console. Under Software Deployment module, I have Self-Service Portal. If I click on that, I have option Publish Software Packages. And I have two options here, whether I want to publish packages to Machines group or Users group. If I click on Computer, I have option to select the group. So let's assume that I have a finance department to which I want to deploy certain applications. Anybody who is part of the finance department should see all these packages on their own and install it from their end. So I can choose those applications, move it to the right hand side. So as you can see, it says installs without approval, which means these applications will be shown in the portal with only one option, that is install. They go ahead and click on install. The application will be installed on their machines. How to add the group? We have admin section here and custom groups. We can create static groups and dynamic groups. We can choose them as a target when we create or publish applications to the machines. So I just click on that and see the applications that are published to them, and you click on modify or publish, which is published to the client machine. And I right click the agent tray icon and I see self-service portal. When I launch it, it's going to open the self-service portal where I can see all the applications which are published to me, and I can go ahead and click on install. The application will be installed on my machine. So I can install any application this way by just publishing the package to the machine. This will avoid unnecessary request for the same set of applications from the same set of people. Okay, so I have installed applications which are freeware. I don't need to worry about anything. What about commercial applications? Let's take an example of MS Office or AutoCAD or Adobe. I can't just push that application to anybody. It requires license information. I don't want to use my license key unnecessarily to a person who don't need this application. Strictly not. So what I will do, I will enable request feature, which is available after the integration between Desktop Central and Service Desk Plus product. Service Desk Plus product is another product from ManageEngine, which is designed specifically for managing help desk requests. So what happens is after the integration between these two products, I can make use of this self-service portal to the next level, that to the same group, I can select commercial applications and put it under requires approval prior to installation, which means these two applications will be displayed with an option to request. They will not see an option to install. Instead, they will see an option to request. When they click on the request, it will raise a help desk request to Service Desk Plus product, which is integrated with this Desktop Central. As a help desk admin, I will go to Service Desk Plus product, open the ticket to see who has requested. If I think that he is the right person to get that application, I will approve it and the package will be installed on the machines. If he is not the right person to get that package, I will deny that, and the denial message will be sent to the particular user. I will show you. If I right click on the tray icon and launch the self-service portal, I will see request. Instead of install, I will see request. When I click on request, I will get an option to put the reason why I need this package. I type in the message and send a request. It will reach Service Desk Plus product, and the end user, I mean the help desk administrator, will go ahead and approve the request within Service Desk Plus product, and the application will be installed on this machine. As soon as the request is raised, you will see requested as a status. If it is rejected, you will see rejected as a status here. And if it is installed, you will see installed as a status here. So I can't just give access to anybody to install any application. I will segregate those which are commercial will be installed based on the approval, and those which are freeware will be installed without approval. So let me go to our slide to see how it can be launched. As we have discussed, self-service portal end user view, and how I request for the application, and after it is approved, it will be installed, or you will see the requested status, and self-service portal workflow. As a end user from the client machine, from the self-service portal, I click on request. The installation request will be sent to Service Desk product via Desktop Central, and the help desk administrator will approve it, and it will be sent to the Desktop Central product. Desktop Central product will search for the relevant client machine and installs the application. Actually, I'm going to cover Desktop Central and Service Desk Plus integration in our upcoming schedules. So please join the integration webinar so that we can discuss this particular feature in detail. All right, this is a self-service portal workflow. We create the package, create multiple departments, associate packages to departments, and users install the applications from self-service portal. All right, so here it ends with our 3 main use cases. Now we'll get into our actual scenarios, which we regularly experience in our help desk life cycle. So I want to install an Autodesk application which requires .NET as a base product. How can I achieve that? In our product, When you create configurations, you can include multiple packages. For example, I go with Autodesk Design Review. I create and I click on computer configuration. If I create that, Autodesk will be installed first. What I will do is I will say .NET framework to be installed first, and I use add more package, and I choose exe, and in here I will choose Autodesk Design Review and select the target machines and deploy. So first .NET framework will be installed. On top of that, Autodesk will be installed via a single task. Can I install software at the user level, such as Dropbox or Skype? Absolutely, you can do. As we discussed earlier, when you create the package and you select it for deployment, you have two options to use user-based configuration and computer-based configuration. I can make use of user-based to create a task and deploy to user profile. Number three, I have a third-party application that does not support silent installation. How can I install it? I can make use of the Chrome as an example for this. Let's assume that I don't have a silent switch for this application. When I click on computer configuration and create it, I have an option to allow user to interact with the installation and installation wizard. So users will get a prompt, an installation wizard. They can click on next, next, next to install applications, like a typically manual way of deploying packages. And also I have two other options, which is creating a answer file and playback it during the deployment, or using some third-party tools like AutoIT to create install scripts. Number four, I have a set of applications I want to deploy to my sales team. But if a new person comes in, they should get all the existing packages which I have deployed to sales team. How do I achieve that? I have configuration settings here under configurations module. And at the left panel, I have settings, configuration settings. I can enable the checkbox here. When a new computer or user is added to the OUR group, apply all the existing configurations so that I don't have to create a new task for the new user. As soon as he's part of the group, you will get all the tasks. I tried to deploy a business app to a computer, but it failed. Is there a way to troubleshoot it myself? Yes, you can. When you create the package, you can enable logging system. This will allow you to see the log file created with the same product name. You can go ahead and refer that log. So basically the log will be created under desktops and agent logs folder. For example, Skype, you will see the name as Skype deployment. You can just open the log file to see why it failed. All right, so let's get into our frequently asked questions. Can you deploy enterprise applications specifically purchased for an organization? Yes, absolutely. You can install any enterprise application. Already we discussed on MS Office 2016. If you have purchased Adobe or AutoCAD, any commercial package, you can go ahead and create a package in our product and deploy to the client machines. Self-Service Portal is not enabled. Do I need Enterprise Edition to use Self-Service Portal? How do I know which edition do I use? Yes, in order to use Self-Service Portal, you should have got Enterprise Edition because this feature is supported only with Enterprise Edition of Desktop Central. To know what edition are you using, you can go to the console and the right-hand side top, you will see license. When you click on that, you will see the license type, what it is. How does install after time work in relation to the refresh policy for software installation? We have discussed on this particular option earlier. So when I create a configuration, I have install after, which means after this specific time, the job will be processed. which means tomorrow around 10 a.m., the client machine will process this task. It doesn't mean that immediately after 10 a.m., the agent will process it. The agent process time is going to be after 10 o'clock, but it depends on agent refresh interval. For example, if the agent communicated the server around 9:30, after 10 o'clock, it might communicate within the next 90 minutes, which could be 10:30 or 10:45 or 10:50. When it communicates after 10 o'clock, it will process the task. So please don't think that as soon as the machine's client time is reaching 10 o'clock, it's going to process. It's going to process only after the refresh interval of agent after 10 o'clock. Where on the user's PC does it copy the software installer? Does it erase afterwards? It will be copied to the client machine's agent folder. Basically, it will be under program files x86 desktop central agent. And after installing the application, it will erase it. You won't see those installers after installing the package. If I want my software packages to be replicated to the remote office, what is the best way? The best way is to use HTTP repository because network share cannot be replicated by the distribution server. So ensure that you use HTTP share always when you want to install applications to remote office machines. And number six, when multiple software are deployed in sequence, if the first package fails, does it attempt to continue? How is the notification sent back? If the first package fails, it's not going to send you or proceed further with the deployment. It's going to stop right there. But you can get a notification about this status by enabling this notification settings and ensure that notify via email for every 2 hours or 3 hours. So as soon as the first one failed, you will get the notification and you can troubleshoot it by removing that package from the task and redeploy it so other packages will be successfully installed. What is the best way to research what silent switches work and what are they from vendor to vendor? The silent switch is not common for every vendor. It is it is different. If you want to know what is the correct silent switch, we already maintain the database for all the applications. Almost you will see commonly used business applications everywhere. You can search for the silent switches here. You can make use of that. In case if you have uh, any other requirement, don't worry. Please Google it and find the switches. And if you still need assistance, contact our support team. We can assist you on that. All right, so we are done with the training on software deployment module. Please rate us on a scale of 1 to 5, where 5 is the best. Your ratings will help us to improve the training content and the quality. And please spread a word about our training module. Hashtag desktop central, hashtag free training, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So our next training schedule is on asset management, August 2nd. As usual, we have two sessions, 6:30 a.m. GMT and 11:30 a.m. EST to cover different time zone. Once again, thank you so much for being with me on this training. Hope to see you again. Have a nice day.